Yeah, I think it's the puzzle that is CIS Dota. I think I've heard some people say whenever they play against these CIS teams, it's kind of mind-boggling how they make that outright aggression work.
Yeah, I think that's where if you want to reflect maybe back to the Secret game as like a opposite to what this game was like, they had that same aggression. This is what they're really good at, is that first 15-minute laning phase map presence. And it's the fact that, for against Secret, for example, they're able to play slow enough in the map, quick enough, that even if under pressure, they can own the game. So Liquid, though, like you said, they like to be a little greedier, and they rely more on the farm that they're losing.
This was a bit too much, though, because the Bristle Monkey are filling the same role in the draft for them.
Yeah.
Typically, I've seen them run with like one of these style heroes. And if you have, say, a Bristle or Monkey mid, and your carry is like a Lone Druid or a Lycan, this makes a lot more sense, because now that pressure on the side lanes is more effective, it's a stronger laner, and you have like this centerpiece. Whereas now it's just kind of awkward, because you've got like a 3-2 setup, but who's the Monkey King ult? Like, who are you protecting? Who is Bristle protecting? You don't have a ranged core, and typically these heroes function best with, say, a Death Prophet, where you can sort of make space for him within the engagement.
It also doesn't help that you lost your bottom tier of one tap pretty early on.
Yeah.
The Beastmaster was out of play, so even if the Monkey King wants to try and make a play, he doesn't have an offlaner, he doesn't have a mid. Like, you lose your lanes, lose the game, basically the story of most games, right?
Credit to Epikid as well. He was stacked as all hell very early on in that end, but we'll see if it actually gets through the first phase, because I felt like that was a pretty brutal force to be reckoned with in that early game.
It's hard to point out. It was just a well-done game by Prodigy. You know, you win a game that hard, it really is a team
There wasn't
effort.
like a standout person. They all stood out, right?
Everyone did their job.
That's all you ever want in a game of Dota. But what do we want to see switched up in the opening phases this time around? Did we feel like Team Liquid's opening was the problem, or was it just the way they followed through? Or were we just saying, no, don't even talk about draft. This game one was just all VPP's execution.
Kyle just touched on it, the idea of you have Bristle and Monkey King.
Yeah.
That's a key point, and I think it's mainly just about your presence within the lanes, right? Like, if you lose your lane, it puts you in a bad stead, right? So give yourself a playmaker, and then from that you can then take these 4v5 fights, right? So that's pretty much it. Bans the Void Spirit.
Do you ban the Ember here?
I like the way that Prodigy bans, actually. I like how they do the first phase Lycan ban, and then second phase Lone Druid, and then it pretty much like all DK, and it forces your hand on your last pick. You're like, what's our Koik of a hero?
They also keyed in, and this is what was missing from Liquid's lineup. They didn't have a hero that could hit towers. I think that's what I was trying to say, is that you're effectively building this lineup around this guy that's going to hit the tower. You're boosting his damage output with the Beastmaster, but they didn't have a guy to actually do it. And if you remove the Lycan, the Lone Druid, and the DK, you really cripple Liquid's core philosophy, which is to always have something that can pressure structures. And you can't replace that as easily as you can, say, you know, Boxy's hero, or even just any individual hero. It's what that does for your lineup. And I'm curious to see if they first to a DK, perhaps. Will you go to a first to Lone Druid, or do you just kind of switch concepts?
I'm just trying to think of the openings to the Oracle. Like, Grimstroke comes to mind. Obviously, lane, you don't lane it against him, because obviously Oracle just dispels it, but the game is perfectly fine. But
do you like the idea of maybe Nature's Prophet in the early phase? Give that push, because that's available.
I always like
+1 actually, so it's pretty strong as well.
The thing is, Insania, I haven't seen him, and I understand this too, because I think it might be something to do with him being the primary shot caller and captain. But playing micro heroes is super difficult if you're primary shot caller. I think it's a big part of what makes OG successful, is that No-Tail's free to like maximize his own gameplay, and because Seb has more of a role, they have more of like this organic flow to the games. No-Tail can just focus on Dota, but I personally know when I was playing Furion or Beastmaster, my ability to captain was like literally cut in half, because I just had too much to think about. So it was either play the hero badly or play with your team poorly.
Or you just go for the middle and just go average on everything.
Or just bad, depending on where you actually average out.
There's the Grimstroke, and then the Centaur's available as well. The question was, would they still go for Centaur? Obviously, without the pairing, but yeah, of course, you're playing against Oracle, just go for it. Why not? There's actually no reason not to go for Centaur.
And I like this. This is a Prodigy. This is just, you know, laying it on the table. We knew you were going to do that. We're picking Monkey King anyway, immediately. This is good, especially with the 1-game lead. And from the way they were talking, we know Prodigy's been giving a little sass in their interviews. For some reason, getting called out about that because apparently our community just wants everyone to give responses.
Well,
Like,
humble and
Oh,
nice. You
they
can't,
they played
can't
really
insult
well.
But the flip side, though, they did actually wait for Liquid because Mickey had internet issues, so they did actually wait
Yeah.
to play the.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
They're
want to
competitive
prove
to
that
them.
they can beat them.
Yeah.
It's like,
They're
you know what,
competitive,
go-
but you know what? Like, I wish we rejoiced more when people were talking shit. It
yeah.
adds
You mean have
storylines.
Character, personality.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch like other esports scenes, especially ones that are just starting up, and you've got those people just yelling at each other across
Yeah.
the room? You're like, hell yeah, they're
The
not
pop-up,
afraid.
baby. I love fighting games for that, you know, the stand-up stare
energy,
down.
yeah.
That was, oof, there's some good clips of that. But, yeah, they banned out the Lone Druid again, as expected.
the
Just
drafting
trying to,
style, really
yep, it
solid.
just makes sense. You keep reducing Liquid's ability to easily translate fights into objectives. And the benefit of Lone Druid is well, it's a strong laner. It's another thing I think we probably failed to mention is that DK, Lone Druid, Lycan are always going to at least trade in their lanes. And then killing a tower is as easy as just walking at it.
And then you have to think, what's left? Do you really want to pick a DK on the side of Liquid?
Immediate Prodigy, baby. Look at this. They're like, we know exactly what's up.
But they did go with the Phoenix. We have seen Liquid look pretty hot with this hero. Are you that concerned right now if you're looking at VP Prodigy, what they have about this pick?
Not especially. I think that you have an Oracle, so you're already going to guarantee that the laning phase is all right. In addition, I think you have to see a whole draft before you can really say, we're afraid. Because Phoenix is another example of this really high volatility hero,
Do you
where if you
have
have no
the
egg
egg
hitters,
hitter? Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, oh god, we can't deal with this. Is insane. And then if you have a bunch of them, it's like, yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, because like right now it's like, it's a good Phoenix game, no egg hitter, right? But then obviously 2 picks left to go.
Yeah, Life Stealer, Jug, both options.
Yeah, like the reason why VP's drafts are often so strong is because this early Monkey King pick, when they already see the beefy boy offlaner, right? Like again, I'll keep mentioning it against Alliance, right? You have these Centaur, Mars-esque heroes. You pick Monkey King, you know that lane's going to be solid. So even if you have to put him in the safe lane, it's a good lane. Like,
Oh, unrelated. Do you see the clip of Snoop Dogg being interviewed after his esports team lost?
oh yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, I
It's
think
like
so,
what every pro player's wanted to say in an interview. When asked the question, like, "Oh, how's it feel? You know, you guys lost." He's like, "Man, I can't. I actually quote it properly, but he pretty much just said, yeah, it sucks."
Yeah, it's like,
that was it.
Obvious question, sir. Move on to like someone a bit more
Ooh,
interesting.
This
Speaking
is
of interesting,
new. So Clinks is another example of a way to isolate and expose dual squishy ranged intelligent support duos. You find them, you blast them off the map. And to win a fight against this Prodigy lineup, you need to be able to find the two
but
supports.
it's the double cage match strat.
Yeah.
Monkey King puts his ult down. Clinks puts his ult down. Do you want to stay in Wukong's? Because I got my boys here too.
Yeah.
It's a cage match. It's a
Good point.
bloodbath.
And that is a wow. Underlord, you do not see this hero very often at all. That DM, that does not have a stun. So we've got to imagine one of those
Yeah.
Smurfs he talked about. Sorry to steal your thunder.
Yeah.
He probably put in work on the hero. We thought he couldn't play it. He's like, no.
that was the next level play. It's like, yeah, you always need stuns. No one will see this one coming on the final day.
Underlord, man. This is
This is VP's way of controlling the draft when they can't decide whether Clinks is laning. Because the Clinks in safe lane against an Underlord might not be too hot, right? So you put now you're like, all right, maybe you have to put the Clinks mid, you have to pick up a new laner to deal with our Underlord so that we don't have a completely free Underlord game, right? That's maybe the way that you see it. But for Prodigy, and especially when you have DM in your team, you could easily put this hero wherever the Clinks goes. Like, DM used to play this mid lane with these quirky heroes, so it's a nice pick overall.
Yeah. I guess you're maybe not as scared in that stare down you just mentioned, right? Where you put down Wukong's, the Burning Army gets summoned. Now you've got an Underlord to kind of bully away the Clinks,
All he
maybe?
has to do is exist, and this game is pretty easy for him. Like, right now, Liquid's damage is pretty much, for like the big damage, it's the physical and Clinks, right? You have all like enabling damage, but it's not your killing damage is physical. So this is why Underlord is so prominent right now.
and you pick up a pipe and suddenly
Crimson Guard as well,
you look
yeah.
at the Liquid lineup, you just don't have too much raw damage output right now.
Yeah.
And it's primarily single target, from the cores at least.
Is the reason we don't see this hero too much because when he falls behind, he just feels like a big creep sort of thing? It doesn't feel like he survives the initial bout if you're not ahead, right?
Kind of just, it's not really figured out in the meta yet. I think that in this spot, it's still solid because you're not picking the Clinks. You're similar to a TA, but with more volatility because You have stacking damage from your Q that like adds up over time, and you're more of like a hunter killer. You don't do as much structure damage, and you're not as durable, but you're still solid, especially I think against a Monkey King. It's a very low armor hero, and it fits the concept of what Liquid are going to try to do here.
I think the main point is what you've touched on about the whole killing sports, right? So here independently can move and waste so many resources, right? So that's why it's so prominent. Or especially in this draft alone.
Yeah.
We will see the Kunkka,
Kunkka's an amazing ban. Like the best ban I think they could have done. I was thinking maybe I wanted to see them pick it, and I looked over and saw the ban. I was like, damn.
They could just QoP again.
Yeah, stand.
Is there anything else that comes to mind they found? Oh, hello.
Another answer to the Clinks. Liquid are going to have a real tough time killing anybody, especially with the Oracle behind. This is a really nice pick from Prodigy, and they expose the weakness so far in the 4 heroes Liquid selected, which is a lack of sustained DPS.
Or
specifically
damage in general,
physical.
right? Damage in general.
Yeah.
Pretty much all
Just
in
don't have
one
it.
hero. Yeah, and this is where when you're playing against a team that has shown flex, but with like one hero in 2 lanes, as long as you pick 2 heroes that counter that flexibility, you pretty much are in a good spot right now. So Underlord and Necro both happily laying up against Clinks, and there's a lot of pressure of this last pick being able to actually do the damage needed.
I know
to,
it's a
What's it
sniper.
going to be? No.
Oh, really?
That doesn't look like a
cosmetic change.
sniper
It
to
could
me.
be a new age.
I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of that pick here. The laning phase will be great, but I don't like Razor against Underlord at all, because you just kind of kite him through the pit, and the Rain of Fire does significant damage. It's max HP based. This is a tough draft for Liquid, and the double link doesn't work either, so it's not as if you get that extra usability from the Grimstroke.
But outside of like Root on Underlord, this is pretty much like the freest game for Liquid to control the fights, right? Like the Clinks can get the vision running first. As long as he doesn't get blown up, he's fine. Stampede gets you out.
Yeah.
So does Wukong's out. Like the fights just go. You know?
You're right, because they don't. VP Prodigy can't make plays.
They can't. Like
Their
Yeah,
3
this
cores
is like
are
static.
just.
they exist. They're boys. They just like they go to lane and they do their thing. Meanwhile, your Clinks will just be freely moving. It's the same support duo that we saw them Prodigy play against Secret, where they could play the moves, but they couldn't.
Yeah,
Open
and they
your eyes.
don't have a goddamn thing for the egg either. You
Yeah.
know, thinking about it, actually, it's similar.
Yeah.
It's swap roles. Liquid need to maintain like a 2-to-1 kill advantage, and VP
giving them
Prodigy
an
just
easy
have to
time.
exist, get so big that they just don't die, and then eventually walk down lanes.
And it's the fact that Razor in this game, he has a free lane no matter where he goes. Of course,
True.
I believe this lane he should be mid, but again could be carry. He can then make those moves early on, pair that with the Clinks, and whatever lane he goes to, the core will be complete out of place. And
You just, I'm looking at actually Liquid, like their heroes can't die.
they can go Roshan easily with the Deso on Clinks as well.
They have lift and pit,
Yeah.
and you know, you all mini disables. Prodigy need like a really solid lane performance to take this one. I don't know.
You buy
I think
Ags
we
on
might
Phoenix,
end up with 3 games.
Scythe's
but-
out of here too, sorry. Sorry, I was about to say,
Alright.
Phoenix by Zags, Scythe is
yeah.
negated.
Boys, your eyes have been opened. It sounds like you're in Team Liquid's
Yeah.
side. Is that where you could sit?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Carl said it needs to be a 2-to-1 kill ratio, and we'll see if Liquid can actually pull this off and take us to a 2-to-1 score overall as we throw it into Game 2 between Team Liquid versus Pro Prodigy.
You know, we think when we have a panel or an entire show without Alan, we could just forget about the numbers for a bit and focus on the feeling, Sin. What's your feeling for this game?
Well, so when Alan does stats, he, uses actual statistics. Kyle just throws numbers around and hopes they land. It's kind of like a bingo, It's just, if you say enough numbers, eventually you're going to have a line, right? So let's say 2-to-1. Okay, let's see if that's good enough this game.
Yeah, no one saw that from Insania. That was fine.
So the thing about this game, and I think the reason the panel is a little bit like, I'm kind of with them in having a hard time gauging this game, because it's hard to find something firm to just hold on to and be like, this is what is going to matter the most. Like, the Dire lineup is really tanky but doesn't have the best catch. The Radiant lineup has pretty good damage and team fight, but doesn't necessarily have the best laning scalability or the ability to do enough damage against these guys. It kind of becomes a game of math, honestly. Like, can you pierce them or not? And for Prodigy, I'm imagining that what they want to do is they want this Underlord to get auras, and then they want to force a fight around Roche that they win so they can get Roche, because their lineup can't do that either.
But the panel was leaning a lot more towards Liquid to actually achieve Roshan. So like you win the fight around Roshan so you can just finish the hard work that Liquid have done.
The thing that I'm mainly looking at in this game compared to the last one is that the initiative to get a lot done is a lot less in Prodigy's court, and the way they won the last game was just overwhelmingly aggressive plays. And now the game might be a bit more Liquid's tempo, the way they like to play. So I think, at the very least in the draft, they've accomplished that they've set themselves up for their play style.
I suppose we could also look towards just FN then. Like, he was such a superstar of Game 1, and now he's on this Necrophos. Like I think long are the days gone where you get like blink daggers on these heroes and you get them really aggressive. Like, what is that tempo you even look to have set by who? Is it Epikid's movement? Is it DM's movement? Is it just the supports playing really well from Prodigy that let them set any kind of tempo? Because once they're ready to go, like, who is the one actually going?
I think thinking of the game in that way is probably not the way this is going to go down anyway. Prodigy are going to reach some sort of critical mass, and then they're going to ball down towers.
Okay.
And it's up to Liquid to choose, can we win these fights? And if we can't, they need to just split as fast as the enemy team is pushing, which they're able to. Clinks and Centaur are no pushovers when it comes to taking towers. So they can both defend and play aggressively. So the options are definitely there.
Feels
Just
like
curious to see
Liquid
how
also
it plays
got-
out. This is a very interesting game. Like,
Yeah.
feel a bit what's the word? Not at home in this game.
You're unsettled. You can go with unsettled, maybe. Or ready to learn. But laning phase, I kind of also want to see like Mickey's progression. Like, how fast does this Clinks actually get some damage up and running? Especially up against like an Underlord. Underlord's pretty damn tanky with his 5 armor. Insania wants to try and do something against him, able to hit the Inkswell, and Mickey just keeps punching through. The DM's got all the life to
damage.
survive.
It's still how you play against Underlord, though. I think with this kind of lane, you want to bully him as much as possible in the low levels, because once he gets more points up in Firestorm, he doesn't even need to look at you anymore. You just place the Firestorm and go and pull or cut waves, whatever he wants. It is actually even an option now for Prodigy if they want to. They could just start going between the towers now and casting Firestorm on every wave. But they're electing to stay in lane so that they can hopefully get some pulse off from save. He will complete this one. Unless... Yeah, I don't even know if Liquid mind this too much. They're kind of just gonna farm it. Mickey has Death Pact now, so he can eat the big Ursa as he will. I don't know if I'm ever gonna stop calling these Ursas. That's one of the few things from Dota 1 that has never... Like, it's never stopped for me.
You don't want to call them Hellbears? I know for a while you used to call them like tomatoes.
Yeah, some people call them tomato potato. That even shows even more like the unwillingness to learn the new names. It's like, oh, whatever.
Or
Guess
the
they're not
unwillingness to know
anymore,
that
but-
like tomatoes actually come in multiple colors as well, so you can still call them tomatoes.
Oh yeah, both of them. Well, then it's really bad descriptive. And you don't know which one you're talking about. Top lane, Epikid?
Yeah.
Taking some good damage, but not enough damage.
It's just harassment back. They know he doesn't have any consumables left. He bought the Orb of Venom. In fact, this safe lane of Prodigy has nothing now that salve has been burnt left. Everything is gone, but Epikid's got that innate
Stacks.
ability to hit 4 stacks up, slap on down, and Tiger's doing everything he can to just dissuade them from fighting. Mid lane's pretty even, 21-7 versus 8. Okay, maybe not that even. 21-8 versus the 19-3.
I think that's pretty good for Necrophos. As far as I'm concerned, this is a Razor lane.
Even when
so-
Koifa then gets the regeneration rune as well.
I mean, that'll add a bit
That'll
of
hurt.
salt to the wound, but the wound isn't
Do
that...
they wanna go on top?
I mean, he just did a 0
Spirit's
damage
flying
to that.
forward. Ina's in a lot of trouble. And Tiger's got the tick damage. Even Epikid, all that regeneration that was never used because it wasn't there, means that the Tiger actually gets a double kill in this off lane of Team Liquid. And then Mickey goes for bottom lane. Over towards DM, as much harassment as they possibly can, but it won't work when the Stroke of Fate is unable to connect.
Fire Spirits are so good in lane against Monkey King. I think if there's one thing you really don't want to face as Monkey in the safe lane, it's a support that has attack speed slow. The two worst matchups are this Phoenix and the Jakiro. It's just so hard if you can't get your stacks off. And we're seeing it there that Tiger can easily pressure him. As soon as the Fortune's End has been used, you can just lay Fire Spirit after Fire Spirit into this Monkey King. He can't fight back. Like, there's just nothing there. Might even see Epikid just maxing out Tree Dance because of that and just start semi-jungling, just push out waves and stop playing the lane because it's too complicated.
That's a pretty sad day when that has to happen though.
Yeah, you really don't like that as Monkey King. I think it's part of the reason this Razor pick is actually very good is that it doesn't allow Monkey to go mid. Like you don't want to face the Razor either. And you could have put the lanes differently from the start with Monkey mid and Necro top, then Necro gets to face Centaur, which is really good. But I think they're concerned that the Monkey King's game is just too bad. So you kind of have to settle.
I'm loving that game sense from FN. And he's going to get a static link now and have to be forced back underneath his own tier 1 tower. But Liquid actually TP'd in the Grimstroke to try and be involved in this. And Tiger moved down as well. And all he did was just have to back up, then gets to plant down the fresh Observer Ward so we can see if that rotation will come again later.
Sorry, it was just funny watching FN try to CS with minus 22 damage on the top. He's like trying his absolute hardest. If I hit it as late as possible, I will get it. It's just this perfect timing on the attack and deals 0. Like, why are you even trying? Like, what's the point?
Should it actually get to 0? Like
he was minus 21 damage. His attacks doesn't do anything. He was really trying to last it. That's fine.
I don't know, it just feels a little harsh to actually drag someone to 0 damage.
Welcome to playing against Razor. It's very annoying for some heroes. Very annoying.
At least he's getting levels. And net worth-wise, hilarious enough, FN is ahead of the Razor. Only just.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But he is ahead of the Razor. And now, Reaper's side. Has he got enough damage? Koifa, barely alive. That one last attacker won't be enough. 50 HP will survive, even keeping the Agi treads up.
That is still not bad, though, for FN. He forced out a salve, he sends Koikva back to base, and he will get probably a wave and a half for free as his reward here. And yeah, he traded off Health too, but he's got 2 points in Heartstopper, so he will be getting this wave now.
And there's the tip. Give some sass, please. He's number 1 net worth on the field.
He is winning this lane as Necro against Razor. That's really good. I gotta say, I don't think this is how this lane goes, especially not considering Liquid probably agree when they last picked the Razor into this that they felt favored in this lane. But
Now the funny thing is too, like the numbers that Kyle throws out, it's like, hey, they need to have this many kills ahead of them. It's like, well, you gotta remember that in Dota, kills don't always matter, and you just stay ahead in farm. Razor, you'll get the DD rune. I thought save. He started the attack, and I think he early cancelled to deny up the rune. And DM's gonna be sent all the way home, but he's fine with that. He pulled the wave up, let the firestorm go, and then farmed up a wave and a neutral camp. Doesn't have as much net worth as Boxy, but still got a lot out of this off lane.
yeah, and Underlord always has the option. It's kind of a strange hero in the sense that he doesn't really win many lanes, and he has a lot of lanes that he loses horribly. But if he just does okay, it's actually one of the better offlaners to do okay with, because as long as you get this one item in the Soul Ring, you can go farm jungle camps, you can push out the lane with minimal risk, and your net worth is extremely high value because all you want to buy is auras for the team for your hero to perform. So you can skip a lot of items that other offlaners kind of feel like they need to function, like mobility items or upgraded boots.
Epic Kip.
Oh.
They're just stalking him for the moment. Sentry wards down everywhere. Stampede has to be useless. Not enough mana for a Hoofstop. Actually, he does have the one charge as Monkey King can't dodge it. And with the damage from Clinks, well, then again, maybe from the Boundless Strike, it could be Clinks who's the one to go down. FN came in so quick to be part of this fight, and the Centaur just continues to tick out. The Death Pulse is chasing him, and in fact, the heal from Oracle is now helping Centaur a little bit to get back. So now Razor can arrive, and we turn back the opposite direction. Static link it up. FN will get his TP out to safety, and Tiger has no extra control to really kill off the Oracle unless Oracle turns around and then just disarms the Razor. 95 stolen damage. Hit what? This is really smart from Koifa. He'll need Tiger here as well if they're going to actually claim the outpost. And Tiger, Icarus dies forward, but Monkey King's going to be there. Same with Save for the pickup, but they do get the outpost, but a little too late. It's 150 both ways.
Boxy will TP in, but nothing to connect on. They already disengaged.
And also,
Yeah, nice response from Prodigy there. Not really what you expect to happen in this game, that a Necrophos is quick to rotate, but he did, and that was massive. Getting those 2 kills, especially Clinks to me in this patch, it's like, it's a ramp-up hero, right? You get Death Pact, you want to find these kills to get the free damage, and if you make rotations and get stopped in your tracks, it feels like you get set back so much. Most other carries at the state of the game will be happy to just hit creep waves, but Clinks doesn't do that. Like, he's bad at pushing. He really doesn't want to.
Gonna try and fight bottom. Catch out the Underlord. Extra slow is provided from Insania this time around. And a static link steal, not exactly what Rubik wants to have, and also keeping his offlaner alive is what you really want to have.
Yeah. 1 point in ulti there, and DM lives, but I think you want to max out Firestorm this game. Sometimes I've seen Underlords actually skill ulti on level 6, but I don't really like that choice most of the time, and I don't think this is one of those games where you like absolutely should have done that. Necrophos is going Blade Mail, so getting some armor against Clinks and Razor, making himself a really bad target. At the same time, it's not really a mobility item to any extent. It's not the best ramp-up item in terms of farming speed. It's not terrible either. It's obviously really good on int heroes nowadays. But it's not what I expected. I thought FN might go for something like Yules into Radiance in this game and become really big with the lead he has. But he's aiming for mid-game timing, it looks like, with this Blade Mail. And right now, he's the strongest hero on the field by far. Like, nobody can stand up to this Necro right now.
Foxy's on the hunt. Oracle. Oh, he needs to stun right now if he's going to kill him. And, oh, he does. Stun's able to connect. Koi for Insania. That is a very long smoke rotation to come to the tier 1 tower.
With the bug on him. That's annoying. Oh, what are you going to do? He's buying some time.
Yeah, he is. This buying time for the tier 1 tower on bottom lane to get taken down. Even false promising. Every other bit he can do just to mess with Team Liquid. I know we'll do it. He's still kicking.
Dude, that's pretty good space. That was like 15 to 20 seconds that he bought overall. And that lets FN hit mid tower. He's going to go and farm the side, camp to the side. They get the bot tower as well. Like, overall, pretty good trade, I want to say, for Prodigy. At least it was a Death Pact kill for Mickey. He really wants to keep building up.
Yeah, I think he was actually probably a little sad about, I think, the fight inside the Dire Jungle before his Death Pact ran out just as they were starting the fight. I didn't see a creep nearby or...
Are they just gonna try to overwhelm mid already? I feel like this is a bit too early. Like, you don't have the tankiness items yet except the Blade Mail on Necro. Yeah, they're not gonna try for it. They're splitting out again. Underlord, by the way, going ATOS. This is the usual offensive build on this hero. Obviously, the combo is you put down Pit of Malice, then you ATOS the guy, and then Pit of Malice snaps again, because the interval will overlap pretty much perfectly. So a very long route, but obviously makes him susceptible to dying, because it's not the best tankiness item, and that build kind of loses its effectiveness against BKBs when they start coming out. So you're playing, again, to this mid-game timing with Necro, and I think when these 2 items are up, VP really want to take fights. I thought it was going to go Horus this game, actually, and not go for the catch, but they feel like they need it.
It's like just no auras at all.
Not yet. They will definitely get them. Don't you worry. They will get auras. There is no way you play this strategy without getting auras.
Is Epic Kid looking for his own fight down here on bottom lane? I don't think against the... Yeah, against the Clinks he decides out. Maybe not the best thing for him. But now Team Liquid, like, you've had this early game phase. Like, they obviously don't know what we know about, like, Necro having so much net worth than everybody else, but you've got to feel good if you're Clinks or if you're Razor. That's your 2 cores with really good farm, item progression moving nicely. So do you try and force fights? Do you look to pressure? Like, you've only taken 1 tier 1 tower so far, and it came with the trade of a lot of damage to your mid tier 1 as well as the tier 1 tower on bottom. Like, can you push? Can you force the issue before Prodigy are ready with auras or ready with combination items?
I think if you do anything, you look for a rotation when you get the Centaur Blink Dagger. I think that's the best timing your lineup has right now, where you get to take the initiative, because they're kind of suffering from the same weakness as Prodigy right now, right? There's a reason there's 7 kills in this game. Both teams aren't really very good at finding opportunities. They both need to itemize for it. The dagger on Centaur versus the ATOS on the Underlord. So when these 2 items come out, you're going to see more fights. And I think Liquid will make the first move. I'm pretty sure. Straight after this dagger is up, you see Boxy's just kind of scrambling to get it. He's digging through his entire health pool, farming jungle camps, and then he's going to retreat to base. The timing's pretty much perfect here. He'll get just the amount of gold he needs from these wild rings.
And Tiger's made sure the top lanes continue to be pressured out as well. DM's trying to play the same battle as well. This way, like, Prodigy can't just shove in the bottom lane and have, well, no more space up on the top. They always have to be looking behind themselves. Echo Saber's done for Epikid. So, new items all arriving. Yules and Blade Mail for Necro. Radiance next in his quick buy.
So he's going the Radiance, but after a couple of... It shows quite a bit about, I would say, VP Prodigy's philosophy about how to play the game right now. That they don't want their mid-hero to be this liability that you need to wait for, who wants to build up a really greedy item. They want FN to do stuff now, but they also want him to scale. So now that this timing has been hit, where they have the Yules Blade Mail as well as the Echo Saber and Monkey King, they want to fight. But so does the dagger. Oh.
Counter-Strike begins it all up. Oracle's got the extra control. Reaper side, Coinfoot just deleted. 70 seconds he is down. Buyback is available. And the rest of Team Liquid are now coming to the mid lane. The Blink Dagger from Boxy. The buyback from Raze will be worthwhile if you can find yourself a kill. The double hoofstomp. Boxy hits the backline and the soul bind silence, and Mickey going to work. Combining that with the Wukong's command, maybe Prodigy can start turning this one around, but Monkey King just stands in the middle and dies in the middle of the Wukong's command. Turn on the Sun Ray, turn on the Blade Mail burn too. A quick prod of Atos, Tiger, secured by save. But they're going in deeper. Boxy blinked in, couldn't get the stun out. But Mickey getting back-to-back kills.
It's all right for Liquid, but it doesn't feel good to buy back your Razorman at 17. What Necrophos really likes in this kind of game is to have a designated target, and now he has one, right? Next Reaper has Koiko written all over it. He'll be dead for like 80 to 90 seconds, and that opens up for towers. And speaking of it, they even got a tower. It got denied by Insania, very nicely done, of course, but it's still, the space on the map is more important than the gold. And despite losing, or winning that fight rather, for Liquid overall, I don't really feel like they won in terms of the macro of the game. That wasn't really favoring them overall.
But does this still work for Mickey, considering he gets the permanent damage?
It's true. It's a factor we shouldn't
still building him up. It's better than the 2 damage that DM's currently got permanent.
Yeah. That is very true. Should not disregard that fact. Definitely helps out.
Pit, Atos, Boxy thinks about helping, gets a hoof stomp, but only onto the Rubik, who ends up stealing Stroke of Fate. Not a bad steal to have, but the Sunray's burning safe down. But back into the pit, Tiger just kept moving forward. Necrophos does not have the Reaper sight available, but they just keep the dust going. And now another great pit from DM. Both Mickey as well as Insania on the retreat, but couldn't get back. Not in time to get out of range to the pit.
Liquid didn't seem ready there. Their Razor just never connected to this play. It was like they didn't think it was going to happen, or that they weren't going to be in time. But this Dire lineup, it takes time to get these kills when you don't have Scythe. It was actually a really long fight. I don't know if Koikva had TP on cooldown, stuck on the other side of the map, or what was the matter there, but it felt like a potential play for Liquid they just didn't take. This Necro is getting really big now. Like, it's starting to be concerning for Liquid how farmed this Necro is.
Well, now Team Liquid bring the numbers, but they don't bring the Razor.
But
He's
now
not there just yet. And now Hoofstomp forward. Boxy gets the initial jump over on the Oracle. Tiger wants to help out too. Disarm. Oracle just trying to get himself further out of here. But the pit, the control, Centaur, he needs some extra help. But the Reaper Scythe will take him out for a minute. Tiger also on the retreat. It looks like, yep, Prodigy will have to move outside the Wukongs. But still, Koipa not there. He's farming the top lane. He's trying to get to his BKB, but Liquid were the ones who started this.
What's happening to Liquid in this? I want to say today, but they've obviously had some good moves earlier this game. It's just this jump, Centaur jumping the Oracle in the middle of the forest with nobody around him to help get the kill.
And now you may lose Koipa anyway. He's got a Yule Scepter available. Starts with the static link of the Monkey King, forcing him away, but it's the Rod of Atos into the pit. He'll hit the deck, rooted once again. Mickey can at least pick off Ina. But
Liquid are getting outnumbered in these plays. Yeah. They're getting punished for Razor being on the other side of the map and getting... Remember, this was their choice, right? It was Boxy jumping in on the Centaur. He jumps the Oracle with no allies around himself. Oracle will not die to a solo centaur at this state of the game. Saves himself easily. Rotation comes in. Prodigy are the ones who have the outpost, so Kuiper can't connect on that. And they kind of just overwhelm them. That looked so easy for them. I think when Centaur jumps, there needs to be a Clinks on the money right away to follow up so they get these kills done. Like, execute the kill straight away and snowball from there. They're a bit too separated, in my opinion, in their moves right now.
I think Tiger might also be
gotta work
dead.
more as a unit.
Hey, once he's got the couriers bringing in the extra tome, welcome to level 11, and welcome to Mickey actually going over towards the Rubik. Turn on the Sunray, and they're going to work with the Burning Army to kill off Safe.
Oh, Epic
Monkey?
is... Oh!
First dive. Wait, they see him? Mickey, where are you going? Oh, he just wants out. They don't want to take this fight.
That's
The rest
actually a
of
really
Prodigy
good call
are
to
moving down.
disengage. That is a super good call, and that is not easy to make for Liquid
hasn't
in that
TP'd
moment, because
yet,
it's so tempting, you know? You cut Monkey out of the tree, you're 2v1, but they identify they probably can't get that kill in time before help arrives, and then they would both die. That was actually really impressive, because honestly, making calls like that in that moment is very difficult. So, nicely done.
Mickey is courier hunting, but he's just right underneath the sentry ward. There's another sentry ward too. He's in between two of them. They'll trigger the dust, and now Mickey, they burn off the Wukongs and drop the Reaper's Scythe, getting the kill before the Scythe is able to arrive. So 70 seconds, such long death timers. This is just a game versus Necro. And Necro already has a Sacred Relic. He's gone 6-0-4 in effort. You know what? I said like the whole... I do have Necro rotating around and getting kills and being the playmaker that FM was in game one.
Yeah, you do, apparently.
Yeah, you really do. With Blade Mail first item pickup.
He hasn't even pressed the button, I think. I actually don't think he's used his Blade Mail yet. That does not make it a bad purchase, because it obviously does disincentivize Liquid from targeting him and fighting, so the fights will look different. It's just, overall in the landscape of this game, I've been lacking that feeling of decisiveness similar to game one from Liquid, where now it's go time, we go together, and we get the jump that we want. They got one mid where their tower was being pushed and they bought back Koikva, right? That was their best team fight so far. Right? Everyone was together, everyone combined their spells. They isolated the correct target by killing Oracle first. They have the tools. I definitely feel like they have the tools to take fights. But VP Prodigy are just one step ahead every step of the way. They have more people, they get the jump, they have the map control. And a lot of it comes down to towers, right? It's the fact that they've only lost one tier 1 top, which generally happens, but they've taken both the mid tier 1 and the bottom tier 1. And this mid tower is constantly a pain in the butt for Liquid to handle. Just pushing this wave back all the time. It's very annoying to deal with.
The funny thing is, though, like, I think Liquid are getting better at pushing up the side lanes. Like, Box has been very elusive with the center on the off lane. Tiger, he knows he's a sacrificial Phoenix. Yeah. Like, he knows he doesn't survive this. You put down the spirits. Monkey's just waiting for an extra little bit of help. Underlord will get the perfect control. Or will he? Icarus dying. Phoenix gets the TP. And that's pretty huge. Waste of time.
Oh. They definitely misplayed that. Epic had actually stuck close to him, and as soon as the Pit of Malice came down, he got cut out of his tree. So he couldn't stun. That was heads up from Taiga, but also probably shouldn't have happened there. There you go. We'll take that.
Both teams are smirked up. Yeah, hey, it's fine. It's no lost rapier.
True. Oh my god, he has Radiance. He is so farmed. It's a big boy.
This is the ball of Prodigy being online with that Radiance done. I can't even care about the other auras.
Oh, and they are gonna
Monkey,
find
they
the
found
opening.
Boxty. Start with the Boundless Strike, follow up with absolutely everybody else. Atos, control, Boxy, triggers up the hood, triggers the Stampede. They'll send him up and towards the air as only retaliate the goal stolen from the Rubik. He wanted more than that.
They actually didn't have Reaper ready. Oh, sure they did. So, yep, they had to just delay that. But yeah, Boxy caught out again.
I don't know how quickly Razor just moves to the opposite side of the map. It's like, just get away from me. I haven't finished my BKB yet. And Razor is the #1 net worth hero over on Team Liquid, and he's got Yules and an incomplete BKB.
BKB.
I was
Sure,
hoping
chat's
you
gonna
would
have a
pass
field
by
day
that.
with that one.
Come on, I haven't slept in 3 months.
Same for Bulldog. He hasn't thought in a year, so it's fine. Bottom tower is...
Let's not bring him into this. I know this is former Alliance.
It's his meme, I think.
Oh, is it? Oh God. Oh, I'm sorry, Trent.
Let's see if this bottom tower gets defended at all by Liquid. They don't seem interested, and I think it's completely fine to give up this one. I think the positional disadvantage is way too severe right now. Prodigy have placed good wards. They have a super fat Necro in front that they can protect with Oracle. So just shove into this tower. And Liquid will try to push out mid and top as fast as they can, but they don't seem confident with getting this mid wave out of the way. This should already be in the enemy tower, ideally. Monkey King is setting up, though.
Yeah, they're
He's
chasing
not
after Boxy, but Boxy, okay. He wants to go in. There's no one else there with him.
It's the same again.
Yep, Boxy just has one thing on his mind, and that's fight. Razor, the pit, again DM, controlling him up, and Koifa does not have to burn the BKB just yet. Same BKB also just flew in for Epikid. He is very much ready to fight. So what was really burnt from that? Like, you lost Eye of the Storm on Koifa.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, but now Prodigy push the mid lane, Necro. A pretty big target underneath the tower. They're focusing him down, but the false promise. Oracle didn't get stunned in time, so he gets it out on the Necro, who will also be yorsed into the air. Does anyone else want to follow up on this? Necro is just staying, I don't care. FN, now the Reaper's Scythe Razor, dead for 90 seconds. No buyback is available. They'll clean up the burning army. And Prodigy will keep the push going.
He didn't account for the Boundless.
No BKB
He gets stunned out of anywhere and then Reaper there. There's no save in his lineup this time around. Liquid have got so accustomed to playing with saves, but they don't have that Shadow Demon. They don't have that Oracle this game. People exposing themselves to getting killed can die. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's
It's looking
painful.
rough. It's tough, man. I think this mid-tier 2 tower and bottom tower will both be claimed by Prodigy here. They have so much time, 50 seconds still, and they know Razor doesn't have buyback. If they saw his inventory and saw that BKB, there's no way he has that plus buyback right now in the state of the game. Not a chance.
Insenia needs to get down here and just nuke the wave as quick as he possibly can. Protect the high ground. It's a catapult wave. Like, yeah, Mickey just, like, he just goes top. It's like, oh, fine, I need to get out of here. I need my Desolator. I need my damage. Boxy's trying to get a Halberd up and running, but I'm not even certain that's going to be enough control. This is just all coming up Prodigy once again. But Liquid do have good delay. The split push works well for them. They've got good wave clear. And pushing high ground, like, we still haven't seen a supernova from Tiger, and he has managed to wait long enough in this game to hit level 2 on that ultimate. Something Prodigy doesn't have great things to deal with. And that's an interesting TP from Koifa. They're going to come in behind the mid-tier 1 tower, looking for a target.
They need to find Oracle. They just need to. It's the access point you have to this fight.
They're wrapping all the way behind, and Oracle is going to be there, but I'm seeing 2 couriers coming in. Oh. One's got the headdress in the tower. I see 3 couriers coming in. The army, the squadron has arrived from Prodigy. Grimstroke quickly deleted, and now Razor isolated inside the Wukongs and the pit. He has to BKB. At least he's able to get that one off this time around as they bow the burning army inside the tree line. This might be okay if Liquid can get a couple more kills. They got the Oracle, now into the Supernova. Prodigy have to go in full retreat. FN cannot do it, however. Yule's brought down, Underlord stunned up, Boxy wants to get the chain stun out. Your buyback comes in from Oracle, so Fortune's End now is actually going to be there. False promise, DM, get the hell out. Full Uber back to safety. Probably not exactly how they wanted to use the buyback, but hey, your core stay up after FN goes down.
That was not bad for Liquid whatsoever. Even though they're insta-killed, what happens is Prodigy are caught in this awkward limbo in the middle of the map where they have used their Boundless Strike to kill that support, right? It gives a lot of freedom for them to come in, combine all of their spells, use Stampede to just overwhelm. And Prodigy losing that Oracle early on, the safety net for Necro is gone. And he does become a target. Now this is a key moment in the game. Like, oh, Mickey?
Under Sentry Warp. Key moments indeed. Mickey being picked up. The Sun Ray from Tiger's giving him his life as Mickey just silences the Rubik. But Klinks is continuously stunned.
Yeah, they're not going to get it. It's
They're
not enough
so
to
angry
kill
that their Sentry Ward is just out of range of the Dire Sentry Ward too.
Can't catch a break. Huh?
You really can't. And a Dire Sentry Ward got planted in range of the Radiant Observer Ward in mid lane. All breaks are off.
It feels like you do need a little bit more than this Necro kill to confidently go Roche. There's still too many potential issues with this mid-tier 1 tower up. I think part of the reason Liquid hesitated so much is that they know if Necro buys back and there's a fight going here, he connects within 5 seconds. He ports aggressively on his tier 1 and walks over and he's there. So the fight is, it doesn't feel like a 5v4 for them in their minds. And they were right to think that. I think if they do brute force this Roche, it could have lost them the game. There's a good chance you just get overwhelmed there. So, problem is, you might have softened it up a little bit. I don't know if that's enough, though. They left it at high enough health that Prodigy aren't doing it.
No.
This ward bottom just paid... I think it paid dividends. I think it saw 2 or 3 heroes in that bottom aggressive ward from Aina that almost expired. So maybe Prodigy can get a read on what to do here.
The hasted Rubik. That's one quick flyer. 4-man smoke up from Liquid. They're coming over with the boundless like monkey. He's coming in very, very close. Got to be careful. Boxy needs that jump forward to get the double stun. First with the ink swell, then the double stuns. But they're battling inside the Wukong's command. Kuiper instantly wants out. 66 HP, and he cuts the tree. Epic Kid, he doesn't be out. He can't hit the ground in time. That is the only saving grace for. Yep, there's spider legs.
End of spider legs. Oh.
That is the only reason Kuiper is alive right now. And they're going back to Roshan Prodigy. They believe they can do this now that Deso's on the monkey.
Yeah, this is not guaranteed, I think.
Liquid's gonna smoke again. But the creep wave, it's pushing up mid. I don't think do they get there in time?
They can't do it in time. No, they can't. And they don't have Monkey King ulti this time, so this fight is...
Prodigy smoke. The smoke's gonna break over from the Rubik. Hoof stomp! Here's the target. Boxy catching out too. DM as well as Rubik. They're going down so damn fast. Safe. He's being saved by his own Ghost Step. Now Icarus dive into the Supernova, but you've lost Clinks. Your damage isn't there. Epic Kids trying to take care of the Supernova. Everyone coming in together. It doesn't get off in time. Tiger needed a fraction of a second longer. Fox doing everything he can, but he's losing his heroes. The Reaper Scythe putting down the Razor, and now Grimstroke, the last one to die. 5 gone from Liquid. Prodigy. Everybody is up. Of course, you bought back on the Rubik for that to happen, but they're coming down mid. They know the death time is so long from Liquid. They can end this right now and get their grand final position.
That egg goes off. That's a different story, but so many things going right for Prodigy here. Even a small thing like Aina purging off a Fire Spirit might have made the difference there for getting the egg broken in time. And it looked like a good jump from Liquid. They caught 2 heroes, but their Clinks walking in to start dealing the damage immediately gets lifted by Rubik and just taken out. Clinks is the majority of their damage, and he couldn't get it done. Without a BKB, he just gets isolated and killed every single time he comes up close. This is my primary gripe with this hero right now, is even if you get the jump, if Clinks doesn't get a free angle, he is so counterable right now. It goes so fast, like... You're still a frail carry, right? Like anybody gets on top of you, you're in trouble. So you have to not only get the jump, but Clinks has to be kind of free for the first few seconds. And VP Prodigy, they know, and they're just on top of him instantly.
Yeah.
1.5 lane Rax and Roche. This is bad for Liquid now. It's real bad.
Prodigy are just so quick with everything. It feels like they've always got their next objective ready to go. Take the mid, take the bottom, only the melee, because you want to be quick about it before anyone's going to respawn, and then up towards the top lane, remove the final outer towers, and just end this game. In fact, they're only pushing with the Monkey King. They smoke up with 4, looking for anyone from Liquid who may think about venturing out for a moment.
They have a base ward that didn't get dewarded. They see Kuiper right now.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh, Kuiper.
Has to be.
It has to be KB, but now he's got that on cooldown for 70 seconds. You may as well be dead.
That's a bit harsh.
Well, yeah, I suppose so, but Prodigy are going to push into you, and you got no high ground defense with it.
Nothing but a BKB. Yeah, the only reason they don't kill him there is that both Epic Kid and FN were pushing top tower together. If either of those cores is there, Kuiper dies. But it's probably the reason he ventures outside of the base to begin with, is that he sees these 2 cores top, so he feels safe.
Here's your
Jump in.
Yep, they're just using the bait of the beginning Aegis, the Immortal from the Necro Forest, battling inside the Wukong's command. A quick stampede, can't get them away. Centaur's already gone down. And now you really start to see Razor and all of Team Liquid just fall apart. They got the relic on the Clinks trying to get that little bit of bonus damage to find a kill, but Prodigy just sustain. You didn't even get through the Necros Aegis of the Immortal. And now the jump forward, a perfect hit onto Mickey. He's got a couple of one charges to bring him back up again as FN dives in pretty damn deep. The Ghost Round's giving him protection. Tiger wants that same level of protection, but he doesn't have it. Mickey moving back to the fountain. He's so low on life, 100 HP, barely surviving. But this game is so deep in the bag for Prodigy. Buybacks in from Razor, buybacks in from Phoenix. This is going to be the last hurrah. Who do you go on? DM sees him. FN feels like an interesting target, but remember, he's still got the Aegis, the Immortal available. Tiger slapped down by the Boundless Strike, controlled by the Pip. No Supernova available anymore. In fact, Rubik is taking his place as the Phoenix.
They are just trashing Liquid today. This didn't even seem close in either game. Like, Liquid had a little bit of a... They showed some signs of life for the first, I want to say, 15 minutes, and then they just consecutively lost every fight, every move. The map, the Roche.
The game.
It's just over.
It really is.
Left.
They're trying to battle at the last points here, but it feels like Liquid are just in it for the thrills. That's GG. Prodigy. You know what the best thing about this lower bracket final is that the grand final should be a hell of a lot better. Because Team Secret may actually have a team coming in there with big confidence to battle them.
And Prodigy definitely want to get revenge. They did get beat 2-0 by Secret, which are now the only team remaining in this playoff that didn't lose a game even. I think Secret has 2-0'd every opponent they had, if I'm not mistaken, in the playoffs.
Everything apart from, yeah, in the playoffs. In the group stages,
In the group,
the hilarious thing is that
game, yeah.
they lost one series, and it was to Team Liquid during the group stage.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. This Prodigy team looks scary, though. Gotta say, it's a bit of a shame. I wish Liquid showed up a little bit more today. I don't feel like they showed their best game. Compared to what we've seen the rest of the tournament, I had high hopes for them. I think they've been playing super well, and today was just not their day. Like, they've got to be feeling disappointed with this performance, knowing what they could have done. That's how it is. It's a best of 3. You lose 2 games, you're out. That's how it works, Toby. It's the math.
Wow.
2 is more than half of 3.
Oh,
So
God. Just shove that in your pipe and eat it, Kyle.
What a performance coming out from Virtus Pro Prodigy here. You know, there might be a dark horse in Liquid's logo, but VPP just proved they're the true dark horses in this race as they will face off against Team Secret in that grand final. Joined again by T Governor and Kyle. And boys, what a showing from here. Liquid looking dismantled by these CIS giants.
Yeah, I mean, the Secret Smurfs coming into play. I don't think anybody would have expected an Underlord. They were ready to snap Picket. I hope they're not out of gas, because that was an excellent performance from Prodigy, but definitely with the upper hand in terms of how they approached this series. Felt like they kind of attacked Liquid where they saw weak spots, and Liquid, there's no way you expect these finishing picks from the squad.